This coming week is the 100th anniversary of an American treasure. Zion National Park was established on November 19th, 1919. Today, Zion is more popular than ever, and a new film will be released this Tuesday to celebrate the park's epic trails, climbs, and river walks. It is hard to find a more stunning place on earth than Zion. We were lucky enough to find two perfect guides.
We are headed out here to Canyon Overlook, looking down Pine Creek Canyon.
Our trip to Zion began at the park's awe-inspiring Canyon Overlook.
And you've got 9 layers of geology.
You are looking at more than 250 million years of history from top to bottom.
When you come through the entrance of the canyon, it's just like, wow, what planet are we on here?
A good one.
Yeah.
These rocks have given Jeremy Collins both his obsession and his profession. He's among the world's most recognized at free climbing and landscape sketching.
Well, I started drawing the same time you did in kindergarten and just never stopped. And it's gone on to define my whole career. That's how I do my storytelling.
Collins has traveled the world to climb mountains from China to Venezuela and the Arctic Circle, but always returns to Zion.
You spend enough time in a place and it becomes home, and that's Zion for me.
And now stars in a new documentary celebrating the park's centennial.
Like the layers of rock here, there's layers of stories about Zion.
You get lost sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you go into the zone, the world disappears for a minute. And I think anyone wants that experience.
These days, more than 4 million visitors come to Zion every year looking for some version of the same experience. They follow Zion's scenic drive, hike to Angel's Landing, and walk the Narrows.
I'll spend time working in the visitor center, maybe some time roving trails.
Park Ranger Darcy McKinley Lester started walking us to her favorite spots, the Emerald Pools.
You just got to be careful of spines.
Along the way, we found a snack.
All you got to do is
A little prickly pear.
cut it, split it open, and then once you get the skin peeled off, you've got this beautiful fruit on the inside there.
Reminds me of pomegranate and strawberry.
Want some more?
Yeah, I do.
And this is it, my favorite spot, right up here. You'll sometimes see a mule deer walking through here because it's green year-round, so they can always find food. It's kind of a little sanctuary for everything that's here.
But that's the thing about Zion. You've got waterfalls and desert.
Yep, you have these two ecosystems meeting up, and so you can also look up or look out and you can see more of the desert, but right here, you're in that little oasis of water that you don't always find in a desert landscape.
That water from the Virgin River carved Zion's epic canyon. But this area wasn't well known until 1904, when this painting was featured at the World Fair in St. Louis. It was so stunning, the story was many didn't believe it was real. In the 1920s, the Union Pacific Railroad launched a very successful campaign to market the park, featuring co-eds dressed in the latest fashionable hiking gear. Pictures were published as far away as London. A tunnel that allowed far more to access the park was completed in 1930. A shuttle and tram system was introduced in 2001.
You guys are obviously going somewhere that we are not. We're probably going the same spot, just a different way.
There is no tram that goes to the places Jeremy Collins prefers.
I'm going to follow your route.
This can get pretty mean in the spring.
I would imagine doing this when it's rushing.
Oh yeah, grabbing at your knees. Still cold.
Yes, it is.
He took us to the climbing wall called Moonlight Buttress.
Watch out for this yucca here.
Oh, yeah.
It looks mean. You're looking for a particular challenge. Like, is it something that I can free climb? For me, I'm a free climber. Like, I like to use my hands and feet, not my gear.
When climbing is your passion, an opportunity like this can't be passed up, although this one wasn't necessarily park approved.
Dude, be careful. You just can't resist, huh?
Well, if I'm not going to get to climb while we're out here, at least I can stress you guys out. I've had experience climbing in here in the park when I'm all alone, and even though I felt like I was on fire, it was also a pretty special experience just having the place to myself.
Do you like punishing yourself?
I think anybody who's climbing cracks has a little bit of a masochistic bent.
Zion National Park may be turning 100, but as Collins is happy to tell you, it never gets old.
I would say, if you find a place you love, keep going back. Wait 5 years and come back, you know. Develop a relationship with that place, because when you have a relationship with a place or a person, you want to take care of that thing.
It's interesting to hear Collins talk about that. You know, you don't necessarily have to try to visit every single national park, but if you find one you love, go back again and again, because there's so much to explore.
And I thank you, Jeff Glor, for inspiring me to go. There's something about being in places like that.
Yeah.
There's a trust. I can't tell you, we picked up 5 hikers that tram left behind. And
you feel
it was
safe.
the dead of night.
Yeah.
My daughter said, you can't leave them out there. I was like, okay, if you say so.
Well, I love that watching your piece, though. I felt calm watching the first part of it, but then watching Jeremy go, I could feel my heart race again.
Little free climbing.
That's wild.
Wasn't park sanctioned, but again, he can't resist.
Wild.
Well,
No.
you know, Jeff went up too.